South Africa rates poorly when it comes to clean governance in the public sector. A new guide to deal with extravagant spending in government has been released in line with International Anti-Corruption Day. Samkela Maseko will have more on that in a moment. But for now, I'm joined by David Lewis from Corruption Watch to discuss this further. So, Anti-Corruption Day, it's a global event, David. Appreciate your time. But are we getting it right in South Africa or not?
Well, I think we're getting it more right than we were getting it. You know, today is a much more significant anniversary for South Africa than merely World Anti-Corruption Day. It's 4 years to the day that Nhlanhla Nene was fired by Zuma and replaced by the Weekend Special, as we've come to unaffectionately know him. And when you think about where we were 4 years ago and where we are today, ground has been made. The public want to see people going to prison, quite honestly, and I think that's going to start happening as well. So we're by no means out of the woods, as your stories on PRASA and ESCOM and whatever illustrate very vividly to all of us. But, things are starting to turn around, and I hope that we have time to do so.
Yeah. So the thing that many South Africans argue is that things have been starting to turn around for a while now. And given the corruption and looting we saw for so many years, they want action now, but that's not possible because of the process.
Well, the process of criminal prosecutions does take a long time under any circumstances. When you consider how badly damaged institutions like the Hawks and the NPA were during the state capture period, and damage that they're still grappling with, it's even more understandable. I think I heard Shamila Batoy and General Abia speaking this morning at a World Anti-Corruption Day event. And you get a real sense of people who are trying to do what they have to do. And, one of the important things, particularly where Advocate Batoy is concerned, is not to deny the scale of the problem that she faces, which I feel are not being offered as excuses, but as explanations. They could maybe prioritize things a little more clearly and go for some lower hanging fruit. But where criminal prosecutions are concerned, there's no really very, very low hanging fruit, in the sense that any case is open and shut. They've all got to be proved again, no matter how much we know is in the public domain. So, I'm the last one to be wanting to make excuses for the NPA or for the Hawks. But I think we've come to realize exactly how badly damaged, well, state-owned enterprises, but also these kinds of institutions were. And it exceeds anything that our worst prognoses could have expected. So yes, I'm afraid we have to be a little patient, but at least our patience is bolstered by the fact that things are palpably being done.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Auditor General. We hear from him every year about municipalities and officials failing to keep their books clean, but still nothing is being done, many would argue. The Auditor General is basically crying every year, reiterating the same thing. What do we do with corruption there?
The Auditor General's office was one of the important Chapter 9 institutions that were not captured during the state capture era. And I think that one of the reasons why they were not captured is because they didn't have the power to enforce their findings, and so they could be ignored, and they were. When there's no social imperative to obey the Auditor General's report, well, there's no legal imperative either that can easily be exerted. They've just acquired, in terms of the amendment to the Public Audit Act, powers to hold accounting officers directly responsible for irregular expenditure on their watch. And this will be done carefully and selectively, but I think it's definitely going to add teeth to the Auditor General's findings. And so, one would wish that in time they wouldn't have to use these powers, because the mere social sanction of getting an adverse audit finding would be enough to make sure that accounting officers and officials pulled up their socks. But I think now with these additional powers, you're going to see less and less, you're going to see findings completely ignored.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. We appreciate it.